While for me to upload again. It's been quite the time with my mum sadly passing away. I've been unable to really get out and about on the moors just due to being so super busy with having to deal with so much stuff. However, we have started a new series here at Willem X-Kid, which I'm so happy to talk about. So one of the things that I was asked while I was away from recording and doing videos was about how many people actually lost their lives at RAF Lindholme. And the truth is, I just don't know. I estimated about 20 to 25, but when it's as important as somebody actually dying, you can't really estimate, and I didn't want to estimate. All the information is out there to be able to see exactly how many people died at this former airbase. So I've gone into the archives, I've had a look at every single aircraft incident. Just over a week ago, I updated and uploaded a video on the entire of 1940 at RAF Lindholme. And tonight at 7 o'clock, I'm happy to say that we have another video scheduled for release, and that is going to be all of the planes in 1941, of which unfortunately there are quite a few. So in 1940, there were 6 deaths at RAF Lindholme. In 1941, there were 9 deaths. However, comparatively speaking, it wasn't quite as bad because they only flew for the second half of 1940 from RAF Lindholme, whereas in 1941, it was a full year. So 6 deaths for 6 months and then 9 deaths for 12 months. So it actually works out a little bit better, if you can say that at all. So now I'm on with researching the next one. The next one is going to be all about 1942. Now, just because these are plane deaths and people that have died in air incidents, it does also include the ground crew as well. And some of the stories about that and about the planes are really, really interesting. Now, you would expect most plane crashes or air incidents to be over Germany. Get hit by flak, get hit by bombs, get hit by whatever it is that's out in the sky, anti-aircraft fire. That is so not the cause of most issues. Most issues actually arrive when they come back from Germany and are trying to land. An awful lot of the crashes that I'm dealing with are when the planes are damaged coming in, and it's the undercarriage that actually gives way on the plane, or the landing gear, or there are so many other things that I just didn't realize even happened to planes. The propellers feathering is another one as well. But some of them are really, really unusual and something I never thought about. When the planes are out and about on the perimeter waiting to go on operations, they're on something called a hard stand dispersal. Now, before 1942, these hard stands were pretty much just that. It was a big grass field with a flat pad on it. And, you know, these planes were just sat there waiting to take off. In 1942, however, it was concrete. Oh, hello, I've got people making comments down here. Hello, everybody. I'll get to you in a second, I promise. In 1942, they did concrete it. The perimeter track was put in, the runway was put in, and they were proper concrete dispersals. And what happened then is that when there was a really windy day, because of the concrete, there was an uplift. So planes were actually tipped over, either tipped onto their fronts, onto their noses, onto their wings, all because of everything that people say. Oh, Destiny 23 gets surgery. Wow. You're like one of my favourite people, being so rude and as a keyboard warrior. Thank you for coming on. Which runway am I on about? Right, so I study RAF Lindholme. So this is a former RAF base in the middle of Bomber Command, and as I sit here, it is literally about 2 miles as the crow flies. Oh, thank you. Yes, I've just had my hair done this morning. It's a little bit frizzy because the weather's a little bit moist. But yes, so I'm a local historian and I do most of my videos. We've got a whole playlist on RAF Lindholme and the Hatfield Moors that surround it. There were many, many plane crashes during the war. Unfortunately, an awful lot of people lost their lives. And I live very close to a cemetery which has got all of the Commonwealth war graves in. So over the years, I've had a look to be able to find out all of the stories with regards to this. Is it a Lancaster base? Was it during World War II? Right, okay, so there were Lancasters based there, but at the moment, the years that I'm doing, it was more the Henleys, the Wellington bombers. There was a hurricane that was just flying in the area and unfortunately had to crash land there as well. If you look at my series on there, there's also a B-17 that landed there for exactly the same reason. Oh, hi, Carol. Hi, Carol Allen. It's nice to meet you as well. But later on in the war, in the later years, I believe in about 1943, there were some Lancasters that were there as well. But my speciality tends to be the Wellington bombers. But there is a Lancaster bomber that is actually still out there on the moor. Let me just have a quick look at which one was it? So it was Lancaster. Oh, it's not on my wall. I thought it should be. Yes, it is. PB 857, and that crashed on the 9th of October 1945. Now luckily the crew were able to get out, but the crashed plane is still out there and you can still go and see it, which is really, really good. No, it's not in the Peak District. So where we are at the moment, it is South Yorkshire. It's on the South Yorkshire North Lincolnshire border, and this is RAF Lindholme. Out on Hatfield Moors, I can tell you just off the top of my head, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plane crashes that I've done separate videos about. In total air incidents, there were about 150 I've got up to so far, but I do think that when I start looking into it, that will go up. So what I've got at the moment is I've got EB-190, which was a Halifax bomber. That actually took off from RAF Sandtoft, which, as the crow flies, you could probably swing a cat and hit it from RAF Lindholme. There was R1073 that was doing circuits and landings. That was a Wellington bomber. That took off from Finningley doing night circuits and landings. And that was from RAF Finningley to RAF Lindholme. Unfortunately, the two young gentlemen on board, one was 19 and the other was 20, they started cloud chasing. They went up. Unfortunately, the plane that they were in, the engine stalled, and the next thing, they just hit the ground. So unfortunately, both men were killed instantly. Any Vulcans based there? Oh, hi Joshua. So you served at RAF Coningsby, which is one of the 2 QRA bases in the UK, other than being RAF Lossiemouth. Oh, so I used to know a lot of people that came from RAF Lossiemouth because I was up at RAF Bulmer, but I was on the helicopters, Air Sea Search and Rescue. My stepdad was part of the helicopter crew up there, 202 Squadron. So we do have a Vulcan here, but the Vulcan is at RAF Finningley, which is now the Doncaster Airport, which is closed down. So there is a Vulcan here, but you can't see it. I believe the most local to me Vulcan is at Newark. There's a Newark Air Museum, isn't there? XH558. I believe that might be the one. Let me have a quick Google. I will have a quick Google and see, but I think that's at Finningley. But they had to close all of Finningley down when the airport closed down, which is really sad. I have seen it, and when my son was an air cadet, he did go into the bomb bays of the Vulcan that was there. I've got some photographs of it as well, because it was in my way once, and I asked somebody whether or not they could move it, but apparently to get the engine started, it's about 20 grand, so they weren't going to move it just for my convenience, which, understood, £20,000 is a lot of money. But my computer doesn't want to work. I will try and Google. But yeah, we do have the Vulcan down the road. It was very, very, very famous, but unfortunately Vulcan bombers are not my forte because I sort of only specialise in World War II. What I can say is that I grew up in the local area, and I used to live on a farm which was at the end of the runway. And when I was a kid, myself and my brother, before health and safety came in, we used to stand on a pile of asbestos, of all things, because it was the highest part of the farm. And we used to look at the air displays at RAF Finningley, and the Vulcans with the sonic boom were our absolute favourite thing. So let me just Google XH558 Vulcan. There we go. Yep, that's the one. That's the one that's at Finningley. The one that was in the Cold War. So yeah, I think it's at Finningley. But B2 Vulcan that flew the 16,000 square mile round trip to the Falklands is still parked at the end of the runway at RAF Waddington. Is it? Hi, old tricks for old dogs. Hi, how are you? Lovely to see you on here. So yeah, I didn't know that. I do know about the Falklands because my stepdad, who was 202 Squadron at the time of the Falklands, he worked for the Ministry of Defence down in Whitehall, and he was actually stationed in Stanley for a while. So I do know that the Vulcans were part of that conflict. But again, not my forte at all. But what absolutely blows my mind, the planes that I study are the Lancasters and the Wellington bombers and the Henley and a Blenheim. I think it's called a Blenheim. God, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a Blenheim. They were built in the 1930s, 40s, and also a little bit into the 50s. But they were operational mainly during the 40s, during the Second World War. But the Vulcan came out in the 50s. So the Vulcan is only 10 years older than the Wellingtons and the Halifaxes and all the other bombers. And if you look at it, it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. I can't believe that there's only 10 years between a classical bomber and then this bomber. That, to me, I mean, I'm not a plane person. For me, I still have nose rotors on the Spitfires and the Hurricanes, and then I've got arm rotors on anything else. I don't know my planes at all, but the fact that there's only 10 years between them absolutely blows my mind. Anyway, so if you've just joined in, if you are new here, right, I have got a new video uploading tonight, 7 o'clock GMT on this channel, and it's all about every single incident that happened at RAF Lindholme during 1941. There are loads and loads and loads of plane instances of things that have happened, and I don't get emotional in the video, but when I'm doing my research, it's really emotional because these things are, it's so personal. I might say that only 9 people died there or surrounding, but 9 families lost a loved one just in 1 year, just on and around RAF Lindholme. That's not even to mention the boys that went out in the planes that never came home. This is just in this perimeter and a couple of miles around it, which blows my mind that people died on British soil during the war, because let's face it, it's not like the war came here apart from with the bombing. Right, let me read this again. It's a Gate Guardian and said that it's XM 607 parked at Waddington. It's facing towards Argentina as a message. The best surrounding aircraft has to be either the Vulcan or the Lanc with the Merlins. Wow. Yeah, no, I agree. They are really, really good. I didn't realise that it was pointing towards Argentina, but that's quite sweet. I was a bit weirded out by the whole thing with that Liam Payne. You know, like at the end of last year, and that he died in Argentina. I didn't think we were friends still. Why are we having our pop acts and all of these people going and supporting their economy? I thought that we still had a bit of beef with people over there, but I mean, again, what do I know? I just thought it was quite a strange thing, because obviously I've grown up knowing that we were at conflict with them, and I thought that the Falklands was still a bit of a dicey subject. So yeah, I was really surprised that we were over there in the first place, you know, doing shows. I'm not saying there's anything bad about Argentina, but it just surprised me that we were allowed in. Anyway, that's just me. I suppose I think that if you've got a quarrel with somebody, you tend to stay away. Right, I have to go on the school run. It's been so lovely to see you all. I want to see you all there at 7 o'clock. Please like and subscribe to Will MX Kid. We've got loads of stuff coming up. We've even got, I've got to show you this. We have our first sponsors, which is this beautiful little clip torch here, which is by Workhos. And I'm so excited about this. safety comes first in everything that I do. And this little clip torch has got an inbuilt setting of SOS flashes. So if you're out hiking or you have any kind of problem, I mean, it's a torch as well, but it also has a strobe SOS. So if anything's wrong with you, so long as you're in the vicinity of people that understand what SOS is. I mean, how come nobody's done that before? What a great little idea. It also has like a little red flashy thing on the back. So if you're out in public, you can have the red flashy on your back if you're in like traffic or anything like that, which I think is an absolutely great idea. Again, just for a little tiny clip torch. I've not unboxed it yet. I'm going to go camping at the weekend. I'll do a full unbox on camera. Hope it doesn't need charging in because I'm not taking a generator. Ooh. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of day. Thank you so much. Do please like and subscribe. You can become a member as well. If you become a member of Will MX Kid, you get access to all of the hidden stuff that I don't show on the channel. I upload for the members at least 2 or 3 times a month. It's only £2.99 to do that, which is less than a coffee. And yet you do get to see exclusive content as well. So thank you so much. Mwah! Hope to see you all again soon, and watch out at 7 o'clock GMT tonight.